Joined now from New York by the writer and commentator Tina Brown, who ran a magazine for Harvey Weinstein between 1998 and 2002 and worked alongside the producer for much of that time. Good evening, Tina Brown. First of all, we now have 3 allegations of rape. We have more women coming forward, Cara Delevingne tonight. Do you agree with Jez Butterworth that there were just too many people surrounding him that protected him and protected themselves in the pursuit of his own, self-aggrandizement?
Well, the fascinating thing, actually, about Harvey was that he had the whole world on his payroll. He was brilliant at spinning, dross into gold, quite honestly. I mean, he had pretty much every publicist in the city was being paid a retainer by him and Miramax. Very disappointingly to me, I found when I took over a Talk magazine and launched this thing with him, that half the gossip columnists around town were also on his payroll with consultancy deals and book contracts and, which were never, ever called in. They had an advance, but there was no deadline.
You found some of these, including an air stewardess and an airplane who's allegedly paid money.
Yes. There was a rather comical moment when with a book company, which I also ran, we kept finding these advances that had been paid out, and one of them turned out to be from the stewardess on the private plane. I mean, whatever that was about, one didn't want to go there. But so one did find these things. And then finally, there was also the other thing he used to do, which was really, very effective, if not very attractive, which was he would trade dirt on other people to keep his own name out of the story, so that he'd be approached on a negative story and he would say, don't do that story, I've got a much better story for you, it's about X. And then he would give them a piece of juice about somebody in one of his movies.
So you were working for him and, by all accounts, earning a lot of money from him. Some accounts have it at $700,000 a year. You worked closely with him. There are also accounts from former colleagues that he actually used to scream at you. So were you scared of him?
He's very intimidating. I mean, Harvey's a big, huge, looming bulk of a guy who you hear the Jaws music when he walks through the door, and what was fascinating to me was when he beguiled me to come and work with him at Talk. I was editor of The New Yorker, and he was so seductive, so incredibly appealing about what we could do together, namely not just have a magazine, but have something that was also books, that was also films, that was also radio, all these things that he wanted to do, a multi-platform idea, which is what I wanted to do, which was sort of ahead of its time, but he saw it. So I went to do that with him, and almost within the first few days, I realized, oh my God, he's entirely different from what I thought, the charming, beguiling man.
On that oh my God point, former colleagues at Talk also said that at least 20 people in the company knew what was going on. Did you know? Had you heard rumours? Had you heard substantial numbers of these rumours?
No, I did not know about this sexual wildness that was going on at all. That wasn't my experience of Harvey. He never did that with me. He never saw it. I didn't hang out with him after hours and go to restaurants and bars and screenings. I had young children, so I didn't do any of that.
But you saw those strange contracts.
I saw the strange contracts.
As a journalist,
they predated me.
Yeah, but as a journalist, you must have thought there's something very strange about this, and that journalistic nose of yours didn't lead you to think, I think I should investigate this because I think there's something seriously wrong here.
Well, look, the contracts predated us, so there was always a plausible reason. Yes, it's going to be a good book. It's, whatever. It wasn't done, with me approving these contracts, so they were just done before. And I didn't see that, you see, because there is this Jekyll and Hyde thing about Harvey. But at the same time, what is very interesting about him is there really are many sides to the guy. And I think that a lot of his rage and all of this anger issue that he has and the explosiveness and the inappropriateness and all the rest of it, I really do think it's about the conflict inside himself, that he is in fact this beauty and the beast coexist in Harvey.
Yeah, the trouble is the beast certainly got the upper hand, and I wonder now looking back,
the beast got the upper hand.
If there were all these people at Talk that knew what was going on, do you wish now, for the sake of all these women that have suffered, and I suspect you think there'll be more coming along as well, do you wish that you'd actually done something different? You wish you'd actually...
No, because I look, if I'd known, yes, but I didn't know. I didn't see it. I didn't see, no one at Talk saw it. We were in a different building, you see. We were not actually in the Miramax building. We did not see what Harvey was doing during the day or the night. We just experienced a volcanic temperament of a man who used to come in and visit his wrath or whatever upon us. So we didn't actually see Harvey doing any of these things. And, you know, our staff was absolutely stunned. I mean, you know, I've been hearing emails and texts for days of people saying, my God, you know, I had no idea this was going on. We didn't know that that was going on. We heard some rumors that stuff was inappropriate, but you don't start going on some, you know, assault course because you hear that somebody, you know,
but finally,
likes women other than his wife.
Now that you know what you know, do you think there's a lot more to come? Because we're now daily hearing of other actresses. Yeah.
I do. And I mean, you know, and what I feel is tremendous admiration actually for Ashley Judd and the early whistleblowers in this story, because it's not at all easy to be the first one or two people who speak. And now there's a sort of tsunami of sleaze coming out, and all these other people are coming out of the woodworks and saying these things. But it's those first couple of women who you really have to say, thank God they did. And, you know, it is really a moment, I think, in the culture here where people, I think because Donald Trump, a serial sexual harasser, is in the White House, a kind of a cumulative rage has been building up among women for a very long time. It's like the Women's March is now marching on in a different form. You know, we've seen the demise of Roger Ailes, the big news chief at Fox. We've had the demise of Bill O'Reilly, the major anchor at Fox. We've had the demise of Bill Cosby. We've had, I mean, there have been many incidents where women are basically saying enough. And I think women are also saying, forget influence, we want power. We're sick of this whole thing where we're being told, yes, it's getting better. Women are really basically saying, this is changing, this is done. Uber, you got to behave yourself. Harvey Weinstein, like, get out of my face. It's great. It's wonderful. I think it's a really purifying moment.
Thank you very much, Tina Brown.